Greetings, one and all, and welcome to episode number 3 of Suits and Sports. My name is Ryan, and along with our founder of Global Sports Policy Review, Mr. Subrajit, we would like to welcome our star guest. So it's Mr. Quadrat. He is a former football player, and after football, he took his talents to managing, and he's a legend when it comes to managing. Speaking of experience, being from Bangalore, he's the legend who won Bengaluru FC, the ISL title. So it's Mr. Quadrat. Hi, sir. How are you doing today?
Hello. Thank you for calling me, and it's a pleasure for me to stay here talking a little bit about football and football in India, of course.
So we will say not a legend for Bangalore. We'll say that one of the legendary coach of India. Like if we see in the club levels, and also you have the time when you are the manager in Bangalore FC, we have seen certain number of records from the goalkeeper to the striker. So yeah, you are one of the legendary coach of India. So firstly, we'll ask you like how the things, like how you became from player, how the things changed to a manager. So how this happened.
Yeah, I think it was a normal travel in my life because since I was a kid, I have passion for the game. I was always playing football with my brothers in the school. So suddenly I have the opportunity to do my trials with Barcelona La Masia, and they picked up me when I was only 9 years old. So they see that maybe they can work with my capacities, and they can try to make me a professional football player. And it was my way in life. I mean, I started to play with Barcelona youth academy teams. After that, I have the opportunity to play also with national team, Spanish national team under 16, under 18. And then I became a football professional, not in Barcelona, but in professional clubs in Spain. So it gives me the opportunity for me to enjoy the game as a player. And then the natural continuous of that situation is to be involved in the football after you finish to be a player. And for me, it was to be a physical coach, also to take my degrees and my license in football as a coach, and then I have the opportunity to be in different clubs all around the world, working and trying to apport to give my best to improve the football in the places that I have been.
Wow, sir, that's great to know, sir. And yes, sir, of course, you've been across the globe and you made several impacts, sir. So, my first question to you, sir, is, sir, so you spent a lot of time in India, especially with primarily with Bengaluru FC, and you actually did see develop. We saw development of a lot of players who were, in BFC at a very young age, and today they are among the top players when it comes to being Indian footballers. So a couple of examples would be Ashik Kurunian and Nishu Kumar, and many more are there. So what do you think these few youngsters did different in their early stages that has helped them become so good today?
Yeah, I come from a football cultural environment where we are supportive with the young talents, but we also know at the same time that we have to give them the opportunities step by step, because otherwise, if he's not a real player ready to performance, maybe you can kill him. It takes some time. We can see now with the progression of Pedri and Gavi in Barca, that they have become the best two young players of the world in the last 2 seasons by French football, by the Ballon d'Or competition. But what I mean is that in Bengaluru, we were wisdom enough, the club management, about to bring young talents and also to work in the young academy to try to create these young talents. But my responsibility as a coach is to put them in the professional world in a way that is not traumatic for them, that they have the opportunity to express themselves and become good players for the future. And I have to say you, honestly, that I am happy of that work, because if you see players like Nishu, like Suresh, like Ashik, step by step, with the work that we're doing in the club, we let them also to reach the national team. Also, Raúl Beque, if you remember, that when he was playing with me, he has the opportunity to play with the national team. What I mean is that it's not like this. It's not happening just because you put them in the first 11. It has to be made step by step, because they have to understand that the way you have to play the game when you are in a B team, normally, most of the times, is very different than the way you have to play when you are in the top professional league. And I was very, very, very close watching the games of Bengaluru B team, and sometimes they were winning 6-0, 8-0. So it sometimes takes you to a way to play the game that is not really the real one that you are going to find when you are playing with the national team or in the Indian Super League. So we were patient enough to give them the right moments to be involved with the A team, and finally, I think that we get some very, very interesting players for the Indian football.
Sir, so you are saying for the young talents and on, and I know like many of our listeners will be watching this interview. So just want to know, as you are one of the La Messi Academy product, so I just want to know one thing from, and you came from a country which is a football nation country. So, sir, according to you, what is the India is doing wrong? Like what we need to do to make our Indian platform of football works better? Like, do we need something like a Lam Mercy Academy, or like we need to do something like in governing structure? What's according to you is the most efficient need for India to change this dynamic? Like, you know how we are working. So, according to
Yeah,
your experience, what we need to do more so we
I
can
think that
change the Indian football?
you're right. It's a very, very smart question, but at the same time, very difficult to answer. I'm going to be very clear. There is a lot of things happening at the same time, and I think that, for example, Indian Super League was a great idea because it puts football in the houses, with the TV prime time games, that everybody can go for that kind of games on TV every day and can really get the attraction for the game. It was a very good idea, and I can see the progression in Indian Super League, and really it has been helping the professional football in India to become better. I have no question about that. When I arrived to India in 2016, you can see some body shapes in the football players that they don't look professional because they were not paying attention to nutrition, to resting, to have good trainings, to have good ambassador training around them. That it means the way you are living your life to perform really, really well. And in these 6 years that it has been happening from that moment, I can really see that the professional footballers are more athletic. They are really, really ready for the game. But at the same time, it's only one thing: Indian Super League happening, good for the country. But you also have to improve what is happening behind of that. And I think it's the main problem that is happening in India. As I told you, I was a La Masia player. When I was 11 years old, I already have been playing maybe 100 games in my life. But here, when you are younger, you are playing very, very few games during your career, and then you don't have that experience, because at the end, when you are playing against good opposition, you are increasing your level. But if you don't have that opportunity, it's really difficult. So I can see that, as I told you, B team, we're not having really, really tough opponents to make put you on a real test. And it's happening in under 19, under 17, under 15, under 13. I know that it's difficult in a huge country like India because it's a very big space, so it's not easy to fly around with the junior teams playing different kind of football. But it's something that the country, the federation have to find a solution, because as much you get exposure as a kid, as much you are going to develop and you are going to increase the way you play the game. I think that it was a very good idea, for example, when the under-17 national team was getting prepared for the World Cup in India, 2017, and they did that kind of a special travel, going to Europe and playing with top teams in the world for a long time. I think that from that generation, you can see a lot of players like Suresh, Puya, Vikram, a lot of players that they come from that scenario and they have been improving as a professionals. So I think that we have to think about different ways to really have to really give the opportunity to the kids to play a lot of games, that kind of games in a good level, and then for sure we're going to get results because the talent is there.
Wow, sir. It was really insightful to get that coach's perspective. And I could see how you have a different ideology because we don't think from this one certain approach. Sir, so my next question to you, sir, so all my questions is going to be in regard with BFC only because I'm a BFC fan. So, sir, so when along with your tenure at the BFC from 2016, sir, I've noticed one thing is that BFC was very consistent. The moment they entered into the ISL, and until the following 3 years, every year BFC made it to the playoffs. And even from 2017 to 2019, we had the unbeaten streak at Kantirwa Stadium. Then there was also an unbeaten 11-match streak in the ISL, which no team had. Sir, so could you please tell us what is the key towards staying consistent? Because a team can stay consistent over a short period, 2 matches, 3 matches, 4 matches, maybe even one season. But what you achieved was consistency across 3 seasons. So what is the key to that particular success, sir?
Yeah, there is no secrets behind. It's just work. It means a lot of work to try to change things in Indian football. If you see, I think that we were one of the first clubs to bring that European way to play the game. That it means that all the team is travel in the pitch together. I mean, defense, attack, all very consistent. If you see, I knew very well Indian League, the I League, and I saw the season that we were competing in India in I League. It was really a game that there was full of space in the middle because some players were not able to make during 90 minutes that work to go up and down the pitch, you know. And in Indian Super League, it was quite similar because if you remember the first seasons of the Indian Super League, a lot of teams bring big names as a foreigners, but maybe these big names were not at that moment of their career ready to do that kind of work also. They were with a lot of talent, of course, big names, but maybe they were working only in attack and not defending so well. So it makes the teams get break in the middle, and there was a lot of space happening. What I think that we did in Bengaluru is that we create that team spirit that all of them have to know that we were working together and helping each other in attack and in defense. And I think that at that moment we have a very consistent defense. Remember with Juan and Alberto Serran as central defenders. Yeah, they were helping, you know, the defense to go out. The fullbacks, they have to go out with the central defender. So we leave very little space in the middle to the other team to create some actions. And at the same time, I'm very happy that I get Sunil and Uranta to understand that is the defense going up, but also the wingers going down to help that kind of situations in the wings. So we always have situations of 2 against 2. Maybe it was Nishu and Sunil against the 2 opponents, or maybe we have Cabra and Udanta against the other 2 opponents. So it makes, you know, battles that we can win. But a lot of times before, I saw a lot of times that it was 2 against 1. It was 2 opponents against our fullback, and then they take advantage of the space. So I think that it was the way that we become so consistent in our results. And we made some records because of that. everybody in the team understand what they have to do, and it was very difficult to beat us. And at the same time, we always were creating chances and were, remember, very good in set pieces, also very good to getting the counter-attacks back to the defense. So that's the reason, because we were competitive, and I think that we were competitive until my last day in the club, because at the moment that I leave the club in January 2021, we were only 1 point far away of the playoff. So I mean, we were still fighting for the titles, and that's what it makes me proud, that we were working a team, always fighting for titles.
Sir, so I have one question. So you have mentioned everything and the details and all, but it seems like you have seen ISL.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry, man. Maybe I am too long in my answers. I will try to make
no,
it
no, no.
more simple.
Sir, I was to know one thing from you. Which is the best opponent till now you got in ISL? So, like, the other team also, like, which is your best, you think is the one of the best club in India, like, except BFC? Like, BFC, I know you were, so you will biased in BFC. So let's move this BFC side. So what are the other teams? Which is the best team you find in
I,
ISL?
I love Indian football because I feel that I really know it, because I have been there a lot of time, and after that time I still have been watching the games. So one of the things that I really love in Indian football is how the teams have been improving, and now you can see that some teams that there were not really fighters for the titles in my time, now they are fighting for titles, like Jamshedpur or Hyderabad. Eh? Just 2 3 years ago, there were not contenders, but because they trust in one project, they trust in one coach, maybe for 2 seasons, 3 seasons, then they have built up something. In my time, there was very clearly 4 teams really, with the budget and with the ideas to go for the titles. It was ATK Mohun Bagan now. It was Mumbai City when they become part of the group city. They managed an increasing in the budget, and they were building a team with Sergio Lovera and with the new transfers that they can be really title contenders. And Goa, because the philosophy of the club and the way they were working with the talents in Goa, and also being supportive with the coaches. So in my moments in India, it was very clear that these were the 4th big contenders. There was also Kerala, of course, because Kerala loved the game and they have an incredible supporters, the Manjapadas. But the thing with Kerala is because they have been having not very good seasons, the mental situation was a little bit down in my moment in the time in the country. So at that moment, battles that we enjoyed the most was against Goa. If you remember, there was happening amazing games, and one of the games that I remember for always is the final that we won 1-0 in Mumbai in 2019. But if you remember, before there was also an amazing game in Cantiriva that we had one red card with Nishu getting out of the pitch, and we were playing 10 against 11 with that incredible team with Fall, Jahu, Elveria, Coro, all the big names. And we, even like this, we won the game 3-0 in Cantiriva with the support of the crowd and with all the atmosphere that we create. So yes, at that moment, Goa was our main opponent.
Right. So I remember Rahul Beke's goal in extra time that won us the trophy. That was good memories. So right now I'm gonna give you like let's say 3 particular situations, and you tell me which was your best out of it. So was it winning the ISL, or was it winning the Super Cup, or was it achieving like there was a time when all the 6 Indians who were starting for BFC were starting for the Indian team as well. So what do you think is your achievement in these three? I mean, your biggest achievement in these three?
Yeah, every one of them has a special memory, no, in my heart. But I think that it's something historical to win the Indian Super League, because it's the big trophy now in the country, and when you are the first one in the club that reach that achievement, then it becomes something for the time, no, for always. So I'm really appreciate that moment. About players in the national team, of course, it also shows how you are developing the players, no, and I think it's happening quite similar now with Hyderabad. I think that Hyderabad, also the way Manolo Market is working, is bringing some players to the national team. So at the end, it's also something that you are doing for the country, and it makes you happy for sure.
But sir, so I'm from Calcutta. So I think you have been in Calcutta. So you, like the team you mentioned are all from the football nation. Like Calcutta, then Kerala, Goa. We love the game. So, but now we'll ask you one question. So you are in Turkey also. So Turkish league is known as one of this like the fan following league. Like you will not find that type of fan anywhere in the world, like in which you find in Serie A, Turkish league, and
Exactly.
in Bundesliga, and then in ISL mostly Kerala, and you will find a little bit of this in Calcutta. So sir, out of this Turkish league and Indian league, which league you find the most amazing fan? Like they are supporting the clubs like their own family. Is it the Turkish league or in the Spanish league or in the Serie A or in India?
Uh, you are right about Calcutta. The match that was more people in the stadium during my time as a coach was the semi-final 2020 against ATK Mohunbagan, and I think that the team finally reached the final because they were so supportive with the fans, with the players, that they give something extra, and they finally become finalists. I think it was around 58,000 people in the pitch, and that kind of noise. It reminds me the same noise that I was listening in Galatasaray Fenerbahce match when I was working with Frank Rijkaard in 2010. So what I mean is that the level of that atmosphere, I think that it's really difficult to reach. There is nothing else than that. The atmosphere that you can listen in that kind of stadiums with that kind of crowd. I have been listening sometimes things about South America, but I never have been working in South America. I don't know real how is that in Brazil or in Argentina. I was in a friendly match, Boca River in Mar del Plata in Argentina, but it was only a friendly match. It was really noisy, a lot of noise, but it was a friendly match. So I cannot make the comparison. What I have seen in European football and in India, I can really say that India, the atmosphere is over any one of the top 5 leagues in Europe for sure. India crowd is at the level of Turkish crowd at that point. So it's I really happy. I feel happy to see the level of the football in India, because I know if the clubs can give that kind of joy to the supporters, I know that the supporters are going to be there.
Thank you, sir. But we are in the last moment of our session. So, sir, before closing like the session, I want to say one thing. You know, sir, in between us, there is one Madrid fan is also sitting, and also Cristiano's fan. So we are really sorry to bring him here also. He is my editor, this Ryan James, my moderator. So you are a Barca product, where I am a Barca fan, but this guy is a Madrid fan. I don't know, sir, how he, like why he's here, what he's doing here. So these people only thinks about money, no talent. And luckily Benzema got this time Ballon d'Or.
Luckily.
And it's we haven't given the performance. See, Barcelona is always the best club. They produce one of the best players, Paul, PK. Just count Rolandinho, Deco.
Mr. Carlos also. Don't forget.
Mr.
Uh,
Carlos is the manager. So please say to him to change his club from to Madrid to Barcelona.
Listen, it's a sport, and I am very respectful with the idea of each club. What I mean, in Spain, for example, we have a big controversy about Atletico Madrid. There is a lot of critics with Simeone because they say that with that big budget, they are not playing good football. But my answer is that Atletico Madrid is playing every single year Champions League, and before Simeone, it was not happening. So what I mean is that football is about results, and it's about to be proud of what you are doing. And I think that, just to put that Spanish example, people of Atletico Madrid is very proud of what the club is doing. People of Real Madrid is very proud of what the club is reaching. And I think also from my side, Barcelona people, we are also happy the way we have been
We are the
enjoying the
best.
game. It's your words, not my words.
So once again, sir, thank you for your time. And it was my pleasure to talk with you. Like this world of globalization make it personal, so we have talked with you personally through a webcam. But it's wonderful time to spend with in a wonderful time to spend with you, and it's really good time to talk with you. Thank you for your time once again.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for calling me.
So, Carlos, so before you leave, one last thing. Tell us what is your favorite Indian food, and after that, also just give a message out to all our viewers in Spanish.
I really enjoy all the Indian food. So nothing special to say because I was living 5 years there. So as you can imagine, I have
Sir,
tried
dosa.
everything, and I really enjoyed everything. Also the simple, the tikka masala, any kind of thing. It was really enjoying it. And in Spanish, just to say that yo quiero mucho a India. Ha sido un país donde yo he sido muy feliz y deseo lo mejor para el país y para el fútbol en el país. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir, once again for your
Thank you
time.
so much. Thank you once
Pleasure.
again, sir. Gracias, adios, and all.